Hi everyone, this is Oscar and welcome back to Geoguessr Explained. Today is Christmas. Merry Christmas to you all. We're going to be doing the standard play along on Geoguessr. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. We've got two maps today, Diverse World and also Street View Winter Coverage. So a bit of a Christmas themed one. Of course, it's 32 degrees here today in Australia, 32 degrees Celsius, so it's quite warm, but that's Southern Hemisphere moment. So let's head into Diverse World here and see how we can do. First round of the day here. Okay, I can immediately tell that this is the type of landscape that you would see kind of in northern Bolivia or southern Peru. These kind of green plains. White road lines also fits. Like you normally would have yellows, but sometimes in both countries you see a bit of all whites. Probably more common in Peru, I would say. Taking a look down this direction, we have a white painted signpost. We would expect white and black to be in Peru, so maybe this is actually just Bolivia. And that would definitely make sense, but if it is Bolivia, it pretty much has to be pretty close to Titicaca, I think. I guess maybe something a bit further south could work, but yeah, these kind of rolling hills, that's probably all that really makes sense here to my mind. Do we see anything for sure? This looks like it could be a sign that's quite useful. I mean, we do have that kind of shield in Bolivia here. I'm wondering if that says 1 or something. It can be 1 here, or maybe it's even the number 2. That would probably make sense. Do we see the name of the place there? It's Luri Bay. I don't think bay means bay, though. I think it probably just means something else completely. Anyway, I'll go there, because I think that's probably most likely here. But also, I feel like on a sign like this, we would have like kind of cinder blocks holding it up. Or like concrete blocks holding up the sign, but we don't. Oh, we do have like kind of a striped pole here, but this one's not striped at all. So yeah, I feel really good about Bolivia here, and it was actually just a bit further south there, but we got the right country. That's pretty good. Okay, next one here. This is pretty rural for diverse world standards, so let's take a look around. I think actually maybe Russia off the bat here. Can't be Russia. Blue car with a short antenna. That's never Russia. Still looks like Russia though, so I wonder where it is. I guess we could be talking Baltic here, but maybe a bit hilly for that. I think my main thought, when it looks like Russia, is often Romania. And I think we can get this landscape in Romania as well, although we don't see anything like in the way of poles, which would help us out most. It's often quite green up here with the new Gen 4, green coverage around this direction, so I think that's where I may go here. Maybe even all the way on the Ukraine border, just to go for something interesting. But yeah, I'm actually not too sure. I mean, it'll be interesting to see where this actually is. Blue car with the short antenna should be Europe. I think so. And this cabbage kind of almost looks like you can disregard that because this is actually a planted crop, so it should be irrelevant. But this cabbage here almost felt a bit like Moscow area, so that's kind of why I still think Baltics are semi-possible. And it was right there. Very nice. So yeah, a lot of that green coverage up here, and then I just thought it looked so Russian off the bat, and I guess it looked kind of Ukrainian as well, so why not just go all the way up there? And it works out for us, so very nice start. Next one here, we are looking at something in New Zealand. New Zealand is one of the only countries to use this combination with a white and a yellow next to each other. You could also see it in like maybe Philippines would be the only other country that I can think of actually does this sometimes. Snow-capped mountains here, concrete poles with the section in them. That's with like the indent in them. That's very New Zealand. And all these trees like that, very, very New Zealand-like indeed. I would be thinking maybe more South Island here just because of the snow-capped mountains, but North Island's still possible. Yeah, this tree plantation also feels quite South Island to me. Camp Sutton, it's not like a Maori name, so that also fits for South Island. Apart from that, it could still be North Island. So, yeah, I think with the kind of mountain ridge that was kind of north, I was thinking maybe even north of Christchurch here, but maybe not. Maybe it's actually more likely to be kind of in this region here or this kind of region here. I think that's what I'll go for ultimately. Ends up being a good guess there. Actually, the wrong mountain ridge, but we're pretty close, and we move up into second place. Okay, next one here, we've got a blue car. You can see the slight blue tinge here at this front. We're driving left-hand side of the road because that's the bonnet, and that's the brake light there. We have round concrete poles here. And we have someone that says Eco Farm 1 kilometer away. We have some oil palms here. That's definitely useful. And we have a bit of soil. It's kind of sandy. A little bit of red in there as well. So with white center lines, left-hand drive, like we established, and the oil palms, Indonesia and Malaysia are very likely. The white road lines would make Malaysia much more likely. And then we should be on the peninsula because it's Generation 4 camera. And at this stage, Generation 3 is the only thing that can be found on Borneo. So Generation 4 should be mainland. A lot of oil palms also, as I said, kind of confirms our suspicion there. So then the question is where, because it's quite hilly, but nothing too crazy. I'm not very good at guessing on Malaysia. I kind of thought south, kind of thought north. I like west coast better here, but it's probably just east coast. Okay, let's just go. I don't really know where to guess here. Ends up being a decent guess there. Actually, on the right road is this guy here. So impressive there from Failing. I wonder how Failing was able to get so close, but 4.6 is actually pretty good in Malaysia. Must have just lined up the road line, unless there was actually, unless one of those things was pinpointable. Last round here should be Ghana. We got the Ghana tape here, the black tape at the front of the car. But even without that, we can just look at this kind of landscape. Actually, this is not particularly typical Ghana. I think I was relying more on the car here because we got the red soil. This could be confused for other countries. Wooden poles with like big knobs on top, big insulators is definitely Ghana. And then, yeah, mostly they just use wooden poles throughout the whole country. When you see this level of dryness, it should just be in the north. There's quite a bit of coverage north of Wa here, and there's also quite a bit like maybe up this direction here as well. We are going roughly north to south here, so I feel like the kind of Wa direction makes more sense here. And why not just try something that roughly fits? I don't really see any road that I particularly like here, but yeah, I do kind of think it's somewhere up here all the way. What about this? Do we see any angle here? Like, I don't really see any angle that's perfectly fitting that really inspires me to guess there. So, I mean, maybe there. We can go for that. Why not? It's fitting a bit better than the other stuff. It's quite flat up here as well. So, yeah, that's about all there is to say about it. Let's see if we're right. And it was actually just in the middle there, so unfortunate. Do we actually retain first place there? I wonder. On Christmas Day, could that be we do a Christmas miracle? No, we actually dropped down into fourth there. Should have guessed more towards the middle. Let's see how the last round transpired. Everyone, okay, one Finn gets it, and everyone else. Okay, getting relatively a bit better than me as well, obviously. So, I would say then that we should move on to someone who's a bit lower down the leaderboard here. This is a pretty straightforward seed, I would say, so we're going to have to click this a few times. They should, in theory, change this menu so that it's below this button, because it's a little bit difficult to get to everything now. But, okay, we've clicked this a few times. Now we're down at the bottom scores. I want to pick some people around this kind of region. MBCC, SVB, and GAC. Okay, so let's check out how the rounds went. It was a first few rounds that were very difficult here, so let's see what happened on those. So it was firstly in Bolivia. We had one Chile guess, which wasn't bad. We also had a Turkey. So I can understand the Turkey guess because we had all white road lines there. The main thing was that. What was the main thing? I don't know. I can definitely see Turkey. We had a lot of red brick architecture. You just don't really see that in Turkey so much. And then yeah, apart from that kind of vibes, right? Thick signposts would not be common in Turkey as well. Like, Bolivia uses a lot of thick signposts, so yeah, on the stop sign we had thick signposts, and that makes sense. Round 2 brought us to Romania, which was a difficult round. UK, I can understand. The guess in the middle of Borneo would be more tropical. But, yeah, it's kind of just looking at the houses in the distance and thinking, do they actually look European? Because in that situation, I'm pretty sure you could work out that they look quite European, especially if you've been to Europe or Asia. Just either or should be able to distinguish on that one around like that if you pay attention, I think. Round 4 brought us to New Zealand. We had one correct guess there. I should have actually. I'm a bit tired today, but I should have actually explained like there were New Zealand bollards in that round, which are red on both sides of the road. So yeah, you wouldn't get too many bollards in USA, and basically none of them have red on them. So yeah, that's a pretty easy New Zealand once you know the bollards, and it's left-hand drive. So that's probably the big thing there. Then we had round number 4, which was in Malaysia. Good, we got one Malaysia there, we got one Indonesia. These are both reasonable guesses, but remember, all white road lines plus the Generation 4 are going to be more likely to be Malaysia. So yeah, definitely Peninsula there was the best guess. And then finally, both getting Ghana, although 2 green where they clicked should be a bit more dry to the north. Okay, let's move on to our Christmas special here, the winter coverage, Winter Wonderland. And we have an interesting trekker on the first one here, so let's see who knows it. So I'm pretty sure this guy, who is in kind of a not a fur suit, but a suit made of fur, like this thing here, and just like very snugged up, is in Canada. We have a Canadian flag. Okay, good. We have like a big Canadian truck here as well, American style. I'm pretty sure this jet ski guy yeah, not jet ski, but the snowmobile guy is going to be somewhere in this town here. But it's pretty easy to remember, I would say, because it's on this kind of very interesting kind of like a Aboriginal island here. So kind of very unique spot. And I'm pretty sure he's basically only driving there. So we should be having a 5K here. And we do actually get 5K points, which is very nice. When you know that coverage, it works out quite nicely. Okay, next one here is Super Winter and Wondery. We have more Google car meta here, so this kind of empty rack with the snow coverage. Sun's to the south, so we know Northern Hemisphere. And then it's going to be with this reddish Google car, the red rearview mirrors, plus this kind of huge rack on the car. This should be somewhere in Mongolia, and I think there's like a bit of coverage. Can't really remember where it is, but let's just see. Actually, the angle I clicked fits, so let's just go on that road there. It was, nearby there, so not too bad at all. Let's check on the next round, which is wintry again, as you'd expect. A long antenna with the with a little like a tab at the end is quite common, I think, in Czechia. And then we also have Czech house numbers here, so that's pretty easy. So Czech street signs like this often kind of like Czech house numbers are this, but just with the number, and it's normally blue or red. The big red ones are always found in Czechia. That's pretty much 100% Czechia. So yeah, we're feeling great about Czechia here. Architecture makes me want to go like south, but really architecture guessing in Czechoslovakia is a bit dubious. But I'm gonna go in this kind of region here. Oh no, I think the antenna is actually more common near Ostrava, so I think we trust the antenna instead. Yeah, the antenna with the kind of black tab at the end should be more so this direction. So that's what I'm gonna try instead here, and it worked. Yeah, that was probably a good idea to switch. So we move into second place here, which is good. Next one here. Ooh, it's a bit of Andorra. I felt off that off the bat here. We do have snow poles, but they're not the normal kind. We have an antenna. So Turkey came to mind, but Turkey Generation 3 always has no antenna, which is good. Do we have anything else to say here? Definitely forested. Maybe like Czechoslovakia again. Don't hate it. Italy is possible here. Still don't mind Andorra. I might still try that, to be honest, but I'm less sure than I was. And we'd probably see some taller mountains as well. So then, I think I may try Czechia here again. Would that make sense? Yeah, I think it does overall. I'm not really sure what the country is here though, so I think we just rip in and see how correct we are. And okay, it was Bulgaria. That makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, just missed it. But yeah, I'm a bit tired. Long day today. Been up since the early morning. Last one here. We're back in Canada. No, we're not. We're in Prudhoe Bay, I would say. So yeah, I think this is Prudhoe Bay, very far north, Alaska. But that's only Generation 2, I thought, actually. And we do at least have some clue here in terms of Alaska. Might not be Prudhoe Bay, though. I still kind of want to try it. Ocean North there. It surely is Prudhoe Bay. Surely we're looking at this kind of thing here. Yeah. I still... We should see some kind of, like, stuff going on the other side. Not so sure anymore, to be honest. Prudhoe Bay doesn't actually fit. We should see, like, some buildings here. We don't. It's awfully concerning for our theory. So, should be somewhere else there. Where does the I think it's Generation 2 up there. So, where does the coverage go to that looks like this? That I'm not so sure about. Obviously, it runs through Fairbanks here, so it could be just along the river here. Yukon River. I don't love that. It doesn't look like there's much of a town by this. Just a crossing station and nothing else. Wouldn't say I know where this is. Could not say. Maybe we're out in Chicken. Probably not. Seems a bit flat here. What about Homer? I mean, Homer I don't like either. We should see mountains there, so I'll just go Prudhoe Bay. Why not? Let's try it out. Is it actually Generation 2? Okay, we were right there. Very nice. We had the 5K, but we saw buildings to the north, which apparently just do not show up. Very interesting. But okay, we could be satisfied with that. 22,000 points on the board there. Just one bad European guess. So overall, that puts us in number 4. Pretty much everyone getting round number 4, but yeah, apart from me there. But I don't really think there's too much to teach there. Just some interesting stuff to know. The tracker here is pretty good knowledge. Prudhoe Bay actually does have Generation 3, not Generation 2, so that's good to know. Guys, Merry Christmas. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the videos coming up. Goodbye.